pee. I know, it's been a while. So if you don't remember, I'm Libby Mass. But something interesting is gonna happen. I'm gonna have someone time travel to this time. So please welcome. Ready, set. Wow, hello Joseph.
Hi.
So
I'm happy to
let's,
be here.
Oh, it's so happy to have you. So let's just jump right into this video.
I'm excited.
Me too. Like, it's weird having someone from like the Bible times here. Like, Joseph, can you tell me some stuff about you? I have some questions on the computer. So, Joseph, let's start with your family and your dreams. Let's go. Because
Okay.
we want some background information because some people don't read the Bible, and that's okay because
That's
we don't
understandable.
judge you. We love you. We love you, viewers. I love
Whoever
you.
are. So I kind of had a big family. I lived with my 11 brothers and one sister, and my father and his wife, and my aunt. Also, he had 2 concubines.
Okay. What else?
My mother died giving birth to my little brother, Benjamin, which is kind of sad. Still get a little emotional.
So we got that, but that's just whoa. Okay, so tell me about the dreams. Like, what were your dreams?
Well, first of all, I want to tell about my father. He gave me a colorful coat because I was kind of his favorite, not to brag.
So
but-
why were you his favorite?
I was mostly his favorite because his wife,
So your mom.
my mom, was like his favorite out of all the wives, and I was the firstborn of her.
So
So,
you-
he had me.
He loved you the most.
Yeah.
Oh, I get that.
So I had 2 dreams from God that I told my brothers because I just felt like I should tell them about.
Okay, so what was the first one?
So the first one, it was all of my brothers were in like a field, and we were cutting up grains and stuff, and like my bundle of grain stood straight up, and
So
then,
like you were cutting them, and then went what?
yeah, mine stood straight up.
And then
But
what-
then all of the other ones bowed to me, of course.
That's weird. So what did your brothers say?
They were like, "Oh, are you trying to rule over me? Like, do you think you're better than me?"
So
And I'm just like,
they hated on you.
"Yeah." They just hated me, and I'm like, "This is from God. I can't control what's happening. I don't know what it means." And then I got another one where there was 11 stars, and the sun and the moon were all bowing to me.
So what did you talk to your dad about that one?
Yeah, I told him, and he kind of felt weird about it, but he kept the matter in his mind. Like
Oh, that's
he
cool.
he didn't hate on me as much as my brothers did.
So your brothers just despise you, right?
Mhm.
Well, those are really interesting things, I guess. But wait, did you ever lead over them?
You're getting a little ahead of yourself, honey. Well, what happened next was even worse. So as I was telling you, my brothers like hated on me. So they were tending their flocks at Shechem, and I was sent by my father to go to my brothers, but they moved on to Dothan. They took off my coat, my lovely coat.
So you're the one that your father gave you?
Yes, they took that from me, and they threw me in a well.
Why? Wait, was it filled with water so you would drown? No, so it was a dried
No,
up well?
it was a dried up well, and I was just stuck in there, and I'm like, okay. And they took my coat, and
But
apparently,
why didn't they just kill you?
I don't know. They didn't want to just kill me because, yeah, they took my cloak and they put like goat's blood on it, and they showed it to my dad, and they said, oh yeah, he died
Because of an attack?
yeah,
Oh, that's
because
crazy.
of like attack.
So what
I
did they
can't
do
believe-
with you? Why did they throw you in a well? What did they do after that?
Well, after that, they were sitting there, and there was like these people coming by, and they decided to sell me for 20 pieces of silver
Whoa, wait.
into
how-
slavery.
Okay, so how much was that 20 pieces of silver now?
It's
so
like-
is it like $400, $5,000? Is it like, because a person's worth is unbelievable. So wouldn't it be like a $10,000?
I would say it's about $400 that they sold me for.
400? Like
Their
that's-
own brother, they sold me for 400.
That's messed up.
I know.
That's just cheap. They are cheap. Okay. So what did they do next?
So I was traded to this guy named Potiphar, and he was an officer for Pharaoh, so he's like a big captain of all the guards and an Egyptian.
Okay.
The thing-
So you were in Egypt by now.
Yes, I was in Egypt, so I traveled far away. The thing was that God was always with me, and I found favor in God's sight.
He always protected you, you mean? Like,
Yeah, he's protected me through everything.
so what
I'm
did
so
he,
thankful.
What did he give you? Like, how he gave you the dreams, but what else? Like,
He blessed me like with handsomeness.
So, yeah, I can see that. I mean,
Oh, thank you very much.
okay, so, but what else? Like, so did he bless you in everything you did? Like, did Potiphar see
much.
that? Like, what did Potiphar do?
He loved me. I was like a great friend to him. I don't know if he really thought of me as his own slave. And so like he kind of had me like as an overseer of the house and put me like up there. Like he didn't treat me bad.
That's cool. So, one day I just heard this over the timeline chain because I can watch like that. But
Something crazy happened. I think
So,
I know what you're
yeah,
talking
like
about.
the thing with the wife and him gone, and then
Oh,
the
this is kind of embarrassing, but Potiphar's wife apparently had a little crush on me.
how little
It wasn't little.
was it noticeable to you?
Yes, very noticeable. I could always tell. And one time she came to me and she asked me to meet her in the bedroom, if you know what I'm saying.
So,
And
ooh.
of course I do what the right thing is, and I didn't do it. I was like, no, this is not right.
So
And then she
that's
got,
that cheap. That girl is.
I know, she, it was not okay. But
So, what did she do? Because like, there's so many things that she could have done.
got like mad at me, and she went to her husband, and guess what she did? She lied to him and said, I tried to, but it was her.
But you're a godly man. You
I know.
would never.
And guess what Potiphar did? He
What did
believed
he do?
her.
Oh, it's his wife. What do you
I know.
expect?
He believed her instead of me. And Potiphar, of course, got mad because he's like, why are you trying to take my wife? And he threw me in prison.
Oh, that's cool.
But even then, God was with me.
Joseph, when you were in prison, did you meet anyone?
I met a few people in prison. One was a cupbearer and one was a baker. They both used to work for Pharaoh. And, well, one night, you know how I told you I'm the dream king?
Yeah, you're the dream king.
So one night, both of them told me about a dream they had.
Okay, so what was the dreams?
Well, they asked me to interpret them. So the cupbearer told me about a dream he had, and it was about a vine with 3 different branches. They blossomed and ripened into grapes, and then he took the grape and squeezed it into Pharaoh's cup.
So what was the meaning of that dream?
So I talked to God and interpreted that the 3 branches stood for 3 days.
So we had 3 days.
Well, in 3 days, he was going to be restored to his position as a cupbearer for Pharaoh. Then he was very excited about this, and I asked him, I was like, could you mention my name to Pharaoh once everything starts going good for him? Because I wanted to get out of prison.
Yeah, that makes total sense.
Mm-hmm.
So the baker, what did the baker?
So after I gave like a favorable interpretation to the cupbearer, the baker thought he was going to get one too. He got kind of excited. So
Yeah.
he told me his dream about 3 baskets he had on his head, and the top basket had like all these baked goods for Pharaoh, but birds were eating out of the basket.
Oh, so what was the meaning of that dream?
Well, I told him that the 3 baskets also represented 3 days, just like the other one.
So 3 days. So then he most likely got more excited.
He was like, oh, in 3 days I'm going to come back. But I told him no. In 3 days, he would be lifted off his head, hung on a pole, and birds would eat his flesh, just like they ate out of the basket.
That's gross.
I know. It's kind of disgusting.
That is really disgusting.
But that is what God was telling them.
Did these dreams actually happen?
They did happen. In 3 days, on Pharaoh's birthday, the one cupbearer, he was put back into his position, but the baker was hung and eaten.
That's crazy.
I
So
know.
God gave you this gift, right? So
It
it's
was all God. I don't take any of the credit.
Okay, so so you told the baker and the baker, if you get out, just remember me and mention me to Pharaoh, right? So did the cupbearer remember?
Well, the cupbearer sadly did not remember, even though I did all this for him.
So how long were you in prison after that? Approximately.
If I had to say, it would be about 2 years.
That's crazy. And then what happened?
So, what happened was Pharaoh had his own dream.
So
I know,
Pharaoh.
more dreams.
So you're the dream king. That's what we've already made up. So okay, I'm gonna act like Pharaoh. Okay. So I'm laying. I'm dreaming. Okay. And then what happens? Tell me what happens.
So Pharaoh's dreaming and he wakes up. Yes, like that. he wakes up and he is like scared from his dream. He just doesn't know. He's just confused. He's confused, yes, like that. And so he calls in like all his astronomers or whatever.
Advisors! Okay,
Yes.
I do
He
that.
calls them all in and he asks them about like what his dream is. Like he doesn't even tell your advisors your dream. Like you just said, tell me my dream and tell me the meaning. So they didn't even know
So
what it
they
was.
asked, I threaten their lives?
Yeah. And
But-
also you threatened them. Well, you're not Pharaoh, but Pharaoh threatened them and he said that he wants them to figure it out, and of course they could not figure it out.
Okay, and then how did you work into this whole story?
Well, the cupbearer
So,
remembered
okay.
me finally.
Oh, wait. I'm the cupbearer, guys, now, okay? I remember, okay? What do I
The
do?
cupbearer was like, wait, isn't there that one guy named Joseph in the prison that can predict dreams? And he told the king,
The Pharaoh. I'm the Pharaoh now.
yes, he
Thank
told Pharaoh, and Pharaoh was like, okay, bring him to me because all my astronomers just don't know my
Maybe
dream.
he can tell my dream.
Mhm.
Okay, that's really interesting.
Thank-
Hey guys, I know we had some technical difficulties again, but we're gonna finish this episode in a couple minutes. But for me, it's gonna be a couple hours. For you, it's gonna be a couple seconds. But I'm gonna be changed to different clothes because we're gonna finish this tomorrow. And Joseph, I'm gonna send you back to your time.
Okay.
Are you ready?
Yes.
I gotta get this camera right. Ready? Joseph, come in frame. Ready? And he's gone. Okay, so he will be back. I sent him back to his time, so he's back in Egypt. Right back after. Okay, guys, so Joseph is about to come back, and we're gonna get right back into the video super fast. Ready? Joseph!
Hey, I'm back.
You're back. That's good.
I'm back.
Joseph, you're back. Did you bring me anything?
Yes, I brought you this nice, stylish hat.
It's red, and guess what, guys? I am wearing red. Joseph,
It matches. What a
You're
coincidence.
so smart. Okay. So, Joseph, where we were is Pharaoh had just called you
He
to
called
interpret
me,
his
He
dream.
called me to talk about his dream and interpret it.
Okay, so just interpret the dream because we haven't even heard what the dream was. So,
No,
can you
we
just tell us what the dream
So-
was and interpret it?
He actually had two different dreams. So the first dream that he told me was there were 7 like fat cows, like plump, good cows. And they were all sitting on the river, and then 7 like scrawny, ugly cows came up and ate all of them.
Wow,
hmm
that's crazy.
And then the second dream, there were 7 heads of grain, and they were good. They were, I don't know, they were good.
So they're plentiful. There's a lot
Yeah,
of
they were plentiful
They're
and good.
strong.
And then 7 other heads that were like thin and scorched came up, and they like swallowed up the good grains.
So, what was the meaning of these dreams?
Well, I told them that both the dreams have the same meanings. The 7 good cows and 7 good grains represent 7 years of abundance.
So that means like great amount of food.
Yes.
What did the 7 bad cows and 7 bad grain mean?
Well, they represent 7 years of famine. So in Egypt, there will be 7 years of abundance, and then following that, there will be 7 years of famine.
Whoa. So people are gonna die and it's gonna be not
Mhm.
enough food. So what did
And Pharaoh, like you would think he would be mad at me, right? He'd be like,
Yeah.
no, there's not. But he believed me, and he was so astonished by this that he trusted me to help him through it all. So he
So-
put me second in command.
he put you second in command of Egypt, that
Yeah,
huge country?
I was in command of everything except him.
Wow, that's crazy.
Mhm.
What happened next?
So I went from being to jail, like in jail, all the way to being second in command. So that's just how God can transform a life.
Oh yeah, God can change everything.
So during this 7 years of abundance, I had 2 sons named Manasseh and Ephraim. And then when the famine started, I was like prepared. While this abundance was going on, I like saved up all this food for the kingdom.
Yeah.
And then when the famine came, we had enough food for all 7 years.
That's crazy. So, did people around you have enough food?
No, nations around us came to us, like from all over the world, just to get food. Because
Okay.
we're the only ones prepared.
So, did your family ever come?
Well, eventually my brothers came to Egypt because they lived far away too and they
Yeah.
had no food. So they came to me and they bowed down to me.
So, isn't that the fulfilling of the
Yeah,
grain dream?
fulfills the dream that I had.
The first dream, not the one with the stars. It's
It
just the-
fulfills actually both of them because the grains bowed down to mine, and also the sun, moon, and stars bowed down to me.
That's crazy.
So they begged me for food, and I recognized them, but they didn't recognize me.
Because you look like an Egyptian, most
Yeah,
likely.
and also they probably thought I was dead or still a slave.
Makes
So
sense.
what I decided to do was I wanted to test them. I started to, yes, I know, it's interesting.
How did you test them?
So I called them spies. They told me about all their family and how one brother is at home. So I said they need to stay in jail until their brother comes. Then I will believe them because I accused them of being spies, trying to like come into my nation.
So did you send them back, or what happened?
Well, one of them went home to go get Benjamin, and I filled their sacks with grain, and I also gave them some silver.
Okay.
So they decided to go back with Benjamin, and when they came back, they repaid the silver. They were honest. They repaid me with the silver, and they brought me gifts, so that was nice.
That's really nice. So what happened next? Like, this is getting intense.
So they came back, and they told me they didn't know how the silver got in the bags, and they were just honest with me, and I was like, okay, that's fine, because they were giving me all these gifts.
Yep.
I was like, oh, that's nice. And so when I saw my brother, I hadn't seen him in so long. I was just so moved. I just started weeping, and I like ran out so they didn't see.
That's crazy.
I missed him so much.
Okay, then what happened?
So after this, I invited them to eat together with me, and like in this big feast. And I served Benjamin 5 times as much food as everyone else.
So you kind of like favored Benjamin.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. What happened next?
So then I told Joseph. Wait, I'm sorry.
Okay,
So
ready?
then-
So then, go.
So then I told my men to fill their sacks with food again and put a silver cup in Benjamin's sack, but they didn't know. So once the brothers left, my guards went to them and said, "Why did you steal this?" Even though they didn't. And they said that they would have. Wait, sorry.
You got this.
It's because I didn't put it in like first person for this part.
Okay, just keep going. You're good.
Okay. So my guards told them that because they stole, they would have to take Benjamin back to me as a slave because I kind of wanted him to stay with me. So my brothers, were like, "No, we need him because our father would be upset if he didn't come back because he was the favorite."
Yeah, now he was the favorite
And
because you died.
They even said that their father would die if Benjamin didn't come back. So then, when they came back, I couldn't hold it in any longer, and I just told my brothers that it was me. They were like so terrified and shocked. They did not see it coming.
That's crazy.
And then I told them to get my father and bring him to live near me,
So
so then I could provide for them.
that's crazy.
So eventually they went to Jacob and they told him about me being alive, and he was so happy. He came back and they moved to Egypt, and I took care of them.
That is crazy. Is that the end of the story?
Yes, that is the end of the story.
Oh, this is a sad day. It's time to say goodbye. Bye, Joseph. The hat. I will always keep this hat. Okay. Joseph, are we ready?
Yes, I'm ready to time travel.
Guys, time travel. Okay, guys, so Joseph just left, and that's going to be the end of the video. Please remember that Joseph is a key person in our life, and goodbye.